Hello, everyone. Today, I want to talk about something that so many of us have felt, but often don't give ourselves permission to act on knowing our worth and holding strong boundaries around it. I'm talking about those moments when someone who didn't see our value, who didn't treat us with respect, tries to come back into our lives after they finally realized what they let go. It's tempting to take them back. It's tempting to soothe old wounds with familiar company and tell ourselves that things will be different this time. But the truth is, if you had to lose them to see your own worth, if you had to walk away to truly value yourself, then what do you gain by taking them back? Nothing and everything all at once. Knowing your worth isn't about putting yourself above others. It's about recognizing that you are deserving of respect, love, and kindness. When you truly understand your value, you set a standard for how others can engage with you and treat you. Self-worth isn't an inflated sense of ego. It's a foundation. It helps you understand what's healthy and what isn't, what's a fair compromise and what's an overstep, what behaviors are respectful, and what actions cross a line. When you don't value yourself, it can lead to letting others define your boundaries, sometimes resulting in accepting treatment that diminishes your confidence, drains your energy, or erodes your sense of self. People who don't respect your worth may expect you to settle, to overlook hurtful words or neglect, or to forgive repeatedly without change. But when you recognize your worth, you develop a sense of what you need and deserve, creating a compass that guides you toward relationships, opportunities, and environments that support you. Knowing your worth doesn't mean you'll never face conflict or that everyone will always meet your expectations. Rather, it means that you approach relationships with clarity. You're better equipped to communicate what you need, to discern whether someone is willing to meet you where you are, and to walk away when they're not. It's about aligning yourself with what nourishes you instead of clinging to what doesn't, about choosing environments and people that uplift you rather than those that drain you. Recognizing your worth is a commitment to fostering spaces that allow you to thrive and live in alignment with who you are and what you need. Boundaries are an essential way of showing respect for yourself and your well-being. They serve as a guide for others on how to interact with you and a reminder to yourself of what is and isn't acceptable. Setting boundaries doesn't mean you're closing yourself off or pushing people away. It means you're creating a safe space within which relationships can thrive without compromising your values, time, or energy. When you establish boundaries, you communicate that your emotional and mental health matters and that you won't allow behaviors or situations that diminish it. Boundaries aren't about keeping people out. They're about creating healthy dynamics where both sides know what is expected and respected. They act as a framework that protects your sense of self, helping you manage your time, emotions, and interactions in ways that support rather than deplete you. When others understand and respect your boundaries, they're also more likely to feel comfortable setting their own, fostering mutual respect and understanding. Boundaries also prevent burnout and resentment by keeping you from overextending yourself to meet others' demands or expectations. Without them, you might find yourself constantly saying yes to things that drain you or allowing others to take advantage of your time, leaving you exhausted and disconnected from your own needs. They allow you to be fully present in your relationships, giving others the best of you rather than what's left of you after you've been stretched too thin. Recognizing when and where to set these limits reinforces your right to be treated with dignity, both by yourself and by others. Letting go requires tremendous courage because it means releasing something familiar, even if it no longer serves you. Often we hold on to relationships, habits, or beliefs out of comfort or fear of the unknown, even when they create pain or limit our growth. The decision to let go is an act of bravery because it challenges you to step into uncertainty, trusting that you'll find your footing and create something better. Letting go isn't a sign of failure, it's a conscious choice to prioritize your own well-being and growth. It's recognizing when something has run its course, when staying in a situation means sacrificing your peace, happiness, or sense of self. It requires acknowledging that sometimes the only way to honor yourself and your journey is to release what's weighing you down. Choosing to let go means you're willing to face temporary discomfort and grief for the possibility of greater freedom and fulfillment. Letting go is also a powerful affirmation of your resilience and self-trust. It's accepting that while you can't change the past or control how others treat you, you can control how you move forward. This act of courage opens doors to new possibilities and clears space for healthier relationships, experiences, and opportunities. It's a commitment to growth, an expression of faith in your ability to rebuild, and a declaration that you deserve a life aligned with your values and aspirations. When people walk away from you, it's often a reflection of their inability to see or appreciate your worth in that moment. Sometimes it's only with time and distance that they come to realize the qualities you brought to the relationship, the kindness, loyalty, support, and understanding that perhaps they took for granted. Recognizing your value after the fact might cause them to regret their decision, but it doesn't erase the choice they made to leave or the impact it had on you. While it's natural to feel validation when someone realizes what they lost, it's important to remember that they chose to walk away when you were offering your best. That decision speaks to their priorities and perspective at the time, and it's a reflection of where they were in their own journey, perhaps unable or unwilling to appreciate you fully. Their sudden recognition of your value doesn't change the fact that you were left to heal and rebuild on your own to find your strength without them. Accepting someone back because they regret their choice may be tempting, but it often reopens old wounds and risks your hard-won growth. It's essential to consider whether their change of heart is grounded in genuine understanding or simply nostalgia for what they miss, rather than respect for who you are. By remembering that they chose to walk away, you honor your resilience and remind yourself that your worth doesn't depend on their hindsight. When someone tries to come back into your life, it's easy to interpret it as a sign of your worth or their renewed appreciation for you. However, the desire to reconnect often reveals more about their needs than about a genuine desire to rebuild the relationship on better terms. Their comeback may be driven by loneliness, a sense of loss, or the realization that they can no longer access the support and stability you provided. Rather than wanting to rekindle a connection built on mutual respect and understanding, they may be seeking to fill a void that has little to do with you and more to do with their own feelings of lack or insecurity. In many cases, people return to what feels familiar and comfortable, especially during times of stress or personal crisis. Reaching out to someone they once had a close connection with may seem easier than building new relationships from scratch. This doesn't necessarily mean they value you differently or that they've truly reflected on their past behavior. Sometimes it's simply about the comfort of the past and the desire for reassurance rather than a genuine acknowledgement of your worth or a commitment to positive change. The reasons behind a comeback can often be complex and self-centered, tied to what they stand to gain or regain rather than what they're willing to give. When someone returns without accountability or a clear intention to grow together, it's a reminder to examine whether their reasons are aligned with the kind of relationship you deserve. Knowing this can help you make a decision based on what's right for you, rather than being swayed by their sudden interest or nostalgia. Choosing not to take back what broke you is a commitment to protect your well-being and honor the hard work you've put into healing. When you go through pain, heartbreak, or betrayal, it often requires immense strength to rebuild your sense of self and trust. Taking back someone or something that caused you harm risks reopening those wounds, undoing the progress you've made, and pulling you back into a cycle that may ultimately lead to more hurt. When something or someone has broken you, it often signifies a fundamental misalignment of values, respect, or care. Returning to that situation can mean accepting the same vulnerabilities that once left you feeling unappreciated, unseen, or unloved. Even if they come back promising change, it's essential to remember that lasting change takes time, self-awareness, and consistent effort, qualities that can't always be guaranteed by words alone. By holding firm in your decision not to take back what broke you, you affirm your worth and prioritize the stability and peace you've worked so hard to regain. Taking back what broke you also often involves the risk of repeating old patterns, as familiar dynamics can easily resurface, even if intentions have shifted. Moving forward rather than looking back allows you to remain open to new relationships and experiences that align with the respect, love, and security you truly deserve. Moving forward creates space for people who see your value from the beginning. You recognize and appreciate who you are without needing time apart or a painful lesson to understand your worth. When you let go of relationships or situations that didn't honor you, you clear the way for connections that are grounded in mutual respect, trust, and genuine care. People who choose you from day one are those who don't require convincing to treat you well. They show up with respect and appreciation, offering a solid foundation for a healthy relationship. By moving forward, you allow yourself to focus on relationships where you don't have to question someone's commitment or wonder if they truly see you. Instead, you're investing your time and energy in people who are present and intentional, who celebrate your presence in their lives without hesitation. These people are willing to put in the effort from the start, to understand your needs, and to honor your boundaries without making you compromise who you are. Choosing to move forward affirms that you deserve people who are consistent and aligned with your values, who support your growth and accept you fully. It's an act of self-respect that allows you to welcome those who choose you wholeheartedly, without conditions or uncertainty. The space you create makes room for relationships that empower you, where mutual choice and appreciation are the norm, not the exception. Strength is about prioritizing respect over comfort, recognizing that familiar relationships aren't always the healthiest or most supportive. Familiarity can feel safe simply because it's known and predictable, even if it comes with patterns of disrespect, emotional strain, or unmet needs. True strength lies in resisting the pull of these familiar but unfulfilling dynamics, choosing instead to hold out for relationships where respect is present from the start. This requires courage because it often means stepping into the unknown and letting go of the people or habits that feel comfortable yet keep you from experiencing the respect you truly deserve. When you prioritize respect, you set a standard that elevates the quality of your relationships. You begin to seek connections where you feel valued, heard, and seen rather than tolerated or taken for granted. Holding out for respect means being willing to walk away from situations where you're not honored, even if it leaves a temporary void. It's a declaration that you won't settle for less than the dignity and kindness you bring to others. Reinforcing that respect is non-negotiable in your life. Choosing respect over familiarity can be challenging, especially if it means leaving behind long-standing connections that no longer serve you. Yet this choice enables growth and brings you closer to relationships that genuinely uplift you. It's about having the strength to demand a higher standard, to trust that waiting for respect will lead you to people and environments that genuinely value you, and to build a life that aligns with your principles rather than mere comfort. Forgiveness is a powerful act of releasing the hold that anger, resentment, or hurt has over you. It's not about excusing the behavior that caused you pain or allowing someone to walk back into your life without accountability. Forgiveness frees you from the emotional weight of past wrongs, enabling you to move forward with a lighter heart. It's a personal decision to let go of the desire for retribution, choosing peace and emotional freedom instead. However, forgiveness doesn't mean erasing the lesson that came with the experience. The lesson is an integral part of your growth, a guide that helps you recognize patterns, identify what to tolerate, and more importantly, what not to tolerate. You forgive to release the emotional burden, but you don't forget the wisdom gained through the pain. It's important to internalize the lessons learned so you don't repeat the same mistakes either with the same person or in future relationships. By remembering the lesson, you equip yourself with the knowledge needed to set clearer boundaries, choose more wisely, and avoid situations that could potentially cause the same hurt again. It's about protecting your peace and ensuring that while you may have forgiven, you're not setting yourself up to be hurt in the same way. Forgiveness is for your own healing, but the lesson is a tool for your own self-preservation, and growth.self-love goes beyond just caring for your physical or emotional well-being. It's about protecting your inner peace from anything that disrupts it. It's recognizing that you are the gatekeeper of your own mental and emotional state and taking the necessary steps to safeguard your peace from people, situations, and environments that drain or destabilize you. Protecting your peace isn't always about avoiding conflict or hardship. It's about setting boundaries that allow you to navigate the world without compromising your emotional health. When you practice self-love, you actively choose to remove or limit exposure to negative influences, whether that's toxic relationships, stressful environments, or your own self-destructive patterns. This doesn't mean you shut yourself off from the world or refuse to engage with challenges, but it means you're discerning about where you invest your energy. Protecting your peace involves understanding when to say no, when to walk away, and when to speak up in ways that preserve your well-being. Self-love requires you to prioritize your mental and emotional needs, even when it's inconvenient or difficult for others. It means not allowing anyone to treat you in ways that disrupt your sense of calm or self-worth. It's about recognizing when something no longer serves your best interests and having the courage to let it go. By protecting your peace, you create a space where you can think clearly, heal fully, and show up as your best self both for you and for those who truly respect and support you. Closure is often something we look for in the actions or apologies of others, especially when someone we care about has hurt us. We may think that by reconnecting or allowing them back into our lives, we can somehow resolve the unresolved feelings and give ourselves the peace we're seeking. However, true closure doesn't come from the other person's actions, it comes from within. It's the decision to choose yourself over returning to a situation that once caused you pain. When you focus on closure, you're not waiting for someone to make it right or to offer you the answers you think you need. Instead, you're accepting that the past can't be changed, and the only control you have is over how you move forward. Choosing yourself means giving yourself the space to heal, to reflect on the lessons learned, and to move on with dignity without needing validation from those who hurt you. Closure is a form of self-respect, a way of telling yourself that you are worthy of peace and healing, independent of how others act or what they regret. It's about accepting that sometimes the best closure comes from letting go of the expectation that someone else will give you the resolution you seek. When you choose yourself, you reclaim your power and your narrative, no longer tethered to someone else's mistakes or indifference. In the end, choosing yourself is the most powerful decision you can make. It's a testament to your strength, your self-worth, and your refusal to settle for anything less than the respect, love, and care you deserve. Letting go of what no longer serves you, setting boundaries, and holding space for healthier, more fulfilling relationships is not an act of defeat. It's an act of courage, growth, and self-love. You don't need to take anyone back who didn't value you in the first place. You don't need to wait for them to realize your worth. You already know it. So remember this: when you choose yourself, you're not only protecting your peace, but you're also making room for the life and relationships that truly uplift you. The people who value you from the start, who see your worth and cherish it, will be the ones who stand by you, not because they had to lose you, but because they truly see you for who you are. And that is where your true strength lies.